Review the agenda. We'll have previous minutes, student and school presentations, parent groups, open to the public, 3 minutes per speaker for no longer than 60 minutes, superintendent's report, correspondence and board comments, personnel agenda, consent agenda, the proposed executive session subject to board approval, and the adjournment. Will we be using that second executive?
No.
So we'll leave it there for now. There are a couple of corrections. If you'll look on page 5 under I, the position is listed as confidential secretary to the superintendent of schools / board clerk. She has already been appointed board clerk, so we will remove those words. And on page 8, resolution 102212B, the date July 2nd, 2012 is really July 1, 2012. Oh, and I forgot. After the consent agenda, we do have an addendum, which includes appoint a part-time typist, resolution 102212D, resolution 102212E, and then, if needed, we'll have the proposed executive session, and then we will adjourn. Motion for previous minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes of the previous regular meeting held on Tuesday, October 9th, 2012, as circulated.
Second. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any students or school presentations tonight? I do not see any.
There was someone out in the back here with a white shirt on.
I was like, what white?
Okay, any parent groups? Open to the public, 3 minutes per speaker.
Good evening. Jan Stark, resident taxpayer. I'm sure you missed my not being here, seeing Phil and Shoprite and Target over the weekend. I usually end up seeing Larry when we're out shopping. I know that a lot of good things have been going on since Dr. Walkley and Mr. Hilberg have arrived on the scene, and you can tell that by the way the atmosphere is here in our meeting tonight, as well as I'll throw out a 60s term, the vibe is out in the community. Okay, people seem to be happy with what's been going on. With that being said, I'd like to know where we are with our search for new superintendent and assistant superintendent. As we know, there's at least 4 districts that will be or are looking for superintendents, both on this side of the river and across the way. So I have a couple questions. One, where are we with that search? Have we, put anything together as of yet? I would hope that there would have been something, outlined over the summertime to get this process started, so we wouldn't be behind the 8 ball.
I can take a stab at answering that. The board has thought about the process, and there will be a public meeting on November 13th, Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here. We hope that you would come, Jan, for that. Where we're going to be discussing the process, initiating a search, and asking the public for feedback on what the traits and characteristics would be desired for the new superintendent. The search is going to be run by our attorneys, Shore, Carlson, May, Lambert, and I forgot who the person that I got that backwards.
Yeah, LLP.
We will, Barbara and I will be assisting in that. I'll just go on briefly, because I know you're very interested in it, that once we have traits and characteristics, put a brochure together, be sent out statewide, advertised in places. We'll be reaching out to people in our network that we know. We hope that by February, the board will have 3 to 5 viable candidates that will be thoroughly vetted. And with any luck, in April, the board will appoint a new superintendent. There will be a stakeholder group of people from the various school constituencies and administrators. So that's in general, without much detail, the plan for the superintendent. The assistant superintendent, we're going to start the search in February, March through do a comprehensive search so that we will have finalists available for the new superintendent, willing to choose a finalist. But because of things that have happened in the past, the board has asked Dr. Walkley and I to closely assist in that. And then we will provide a mentorship role to be sure that this summer the 2 new folks will be in place and know what they're doing.
Okay. Well, yeah, got a lot of my questions answered before I asked them. One of the things is, we're going to have community members involved in the process.
There probably will not be as much involvement as was in the past. It's clearly stated in the law that it's the responsibility of the school board. So the school board will be the only folks that will be doing the selection and the interviewing. There will be an opportunity for a stakeholder group to meet the finalists, but that'll be late winter, as I said, in the timeline.
I think when, with everything that is at stake, and with the rush to hire individuals in the past, and perhaps settling for, well, as Beacon, and settling for the leftovers, I think it's a mistake not to have your community members, your building administrators, your teachers involved in the interviewing process. There are questions that they would ask that are fundamentally important to them. I'm not saying that it's not your responsibility as the board. It most certainly is. But to ignore the community involvement in this. Because one of the things that personally that I would like to see, okay, is are we looking for someone that is willing to become part of our community and talk to our administrators and talk to our teachers and involve themselves in what's going on here in Beacon? Or is it going to be an individual that's going to talk at people? Okay? We understand that the superintendent is the arm of the Board of Education, and that the Board of Education obviously is the decision making on those issues. Okay, but to not involve your community of teachers and administrators and parents, taxpayers that may ask questions that are different from what you may ask, or be perhaps a little bit more insightful for their particular needs, to really find out the well-roundedness of the individual that's going to be coming on and taking charge, I think is a mistake.
Fran, if I'd like to help clarify, and you make some very good points, and we appreciate it. And I apologize if I wasn't clear. There will be a stakeholder group of teachers, administrators, clerical, all from every job here in the district, including PTA members. So we'll have a broad view of folks. They will have an opportunity to talk about the desired traits and characteristics, just like the public will have that opportunity on November 13th. And they will also, the stakeholder group, as well as a separate administrator group, have a chance to meet the finalists. So there will be a lot of involvement, and with just the concerns that you voiced, hopefully they'll be able to make a distinction in the various candidates and pick appropriately, make recommendations to the board.
You said that our board attorneys are going to be handling the search, so that, you know, one of the questions I had, are we going to be using an outside search or, you know, outside agency, or were we going to use BOCES? And, you know, I don't have much confidence, obviously, in BOCES after the last couple. But what I have to say is that, you know, we have a great model of leadership and what we should expect from a new superintendent and a new assistant superintendent in both Harvey and Barbara. Okay, since they've arrived back onto the scene, there's been a calming of the waves here in the district. There's been much better, my understanding is that there's been much better communications going on, and there's been real leadership that's been taking place in the district. They are ideal models to look for in candidates that we look to bring to our community. Okay, I don't think that should you know, be, you know, underlooked. The other thing is what I would suggest is that as a board, we look for developing a game plan or a criteria, a set of procedures, so that when the time comes that we need to have look for another superintendent or an assistant superintendent, there's something already in place that we can go back to and look, so we're not constantly reinventing the wheel. Where do we need to go? A set of procedures. And I think that's something that has lacked in the past 2 or 3 superintendent searches, is a clear and concise plan for what we need to have here in our district. Now, granted, times change, so that criteria is going to change. Okay, well, from the finances, things are coming from the state or whatever, but that's something that can be updated, much like all our other policies from time to time are updated. This is something that I think is important to have for future boards, not just this board, but for future boards. 5, 10 years down the road, some of you may or may not still be on the Board of Education. Okay, so it's for those other people that we want to be able to look forward to. My other question is about bullying law. We know that's taken place, and we've had, you know, people, administrators in the various buildings that are responsible to deal with the Dignity Act and such. What I'd like to know is, have we had any grade level assemblies to educate our students about this? And is there anything in place, such as staff advisors meeting with small groups of students on a regular basis, so that these students have a teacher that they feel comfortable where they can come back to and check on things, that if something is happening, that teacher can advise them how to deal with it, help them perhaps, you know, refocus on things like their homework to make sure that their grades are staying up. Where I work, we have what we call freshman advisory council, where teachers actually take on and mentor our students. In some cases it works, and other cases, the kids are kids. But I think it's important in this day and age, perhaps, to have that type of thing. 20-some-odd years ago, Maria Galarza worked in the district with peer mediation at Rondout Middle School, and I know that through those efforts that there were a number of situations that were averted before they spilled out into the community, because the kids were able to come together and talk and be advised. So I'm just asking if we don't have something like that in place, please think about it. If we haven't had grade meetings to talk to the students about the new law that's out there. Perhaps it's something that, again, we'd like to think about and ask the administrators of the buildings to do. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak? Okay. Superintendent, report, please.
Thank you, Fran, for your,
Jan.
Jan, I'm sorry. I didn't, my wife sometimes has to remind me her name and the dog's name, so he reminds me, and I'm glad you don't. Thanks for your insightful remarks. We appreciate it. We have a couple of neat things going on right here with the board. Something new that's happening is we're moving to paperless board meetings. And I'll try to avoid the potty humor that Kelly always accused me of. But we will, the board is going to be bringing their own devices, laptops, and all the board meeting stuff will be online. And we hope that that happens December, January at the latest, and the public will be able to, there'll be a link in the website. So I hope, and I don't know the timing of it exactly, but on Friday, yeah, the agenda, everything will be up there, and a lot of the background material. So it'll be transparent for a lot of folks. I think it'll be fun. It'll save us a lot of money with paper, with the courier and all that. A number of other districts have moved forward with that, so we appreciate the board's willingness, the adventure to try this. So thank you, and we'll see how that, and I want to thank Kelly for being willing also to take this on. If you haven't read between the lines or watched, I'm really pleased to congratulate Kelly. She'll be taking on a new role as the secretary to the superintendent. God bless her. And we want to wish Mary Ann Bolicello the best in her retirement. That's going to happen on October 31st. I think they're going to have a Kelly cake for her, actually. So that's pretty nice. So there'll be a little switch in central office. So people call in central office now. You'll get the superintendent secretary and also the board clerk. So we're excited about that.
That's it. Do we have any board comments tonight? I would just like to quickly thank the administrators, the teachers in central office for coming out tonight and being a part of the celebration for the board. As I've said to many people many times, it's all about partnership, right? So our board is only as successful as we are because we have great partners. So thanks to you all as well. Okay, personnel agenda.
Motion to approve the personnel agenda as listed from A to L.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as follows from A to E.
Second?
Comments or questions?
One quick question. I'm not sure if it's actually an incorrect address, but the resolution 1022-112C, the property in Dennings Avenue, which states that's in the town of Fishkill, which I don't think it is. I don't know if that doesn't validate anything, does it? It's a
What page?
page 9.
Page 9.
Page 9.
It's the Dennings Avenue, Scenic Hudson Land
It's a
Trust.
searchy area or it's a reduction in.
Where is it?
It's in the city of Beacon.
Not tip.
That's all. Well, no, the tip itself is New York State property.
It's just
I mean, I actually pulled up. I actually pulled it up on the partial access for Dutchess County, and it's city of Beacon.
I think before the board approves it, you may want to pull it so that we can check and see why this error exists.
Okay, good.
Okay, all right.
We need a motion to remove it.
I guess.
Well, we just, well, we table it.
but it's the whole consent
You wanna
agenda.
remove
So
it?
how
Oh.
do we go forward? Do we make a motion to remove it from the consent
Right, you
agenda?
remove this from the consent agenda and then just table it.
You make it sound easier than it is.
So
So
I
motion
move-
to remove resolution.
Okay,
Okay.
I move to remove the resolution 1022-112C from the consent agenda.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Done.
Okay. And then what do you mean?
You'll vote on the consent agenda and then a motion to table, because this is still now on the table. Motion to table it, and then we'll bring it back at the next meeting.
Okay.
Motion to table?
No,
First-
right
first-
now we
first
have
vote
to
on the
do the
consent
consent agenda.
We've already had a motion.
We already
have to
made
do
a
another
motion
motion?
for that.
Okay, so no further
As
questions?
revised. As revised.
All right, so do it again.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as follows from A to E revised.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, so motion to table resolution
Motion.
102212C.
Motion to table resolution 102212C.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Addendum.
Motion to approve.
Well, we got to go one by one. Appoint part-time typist.
Motion to appoint part-time typist as listed on the agenda.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 102212D.
Motion to approve resolution 102212D as listed on the agenda.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 102212E.
Motion to approve resolution 102212E.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
On that energy performance contract, do we need further discussion, or it's no cost to us? Can we ask them to move ahead to do RFPs and see what it brings? That's going to tell the tale. It doesn't cost us any money. They'll do an audit, and then we can see what goes on. Is that something that the board would?
Do we need a
I don't need a
resolution for
formal
that?
motion, but
Yeah, we need a resolution for it. yeah.
do we need a resolution to do that? So we'll put that on the agenda for next time. That was-
Unless you want to draft it now and we'll save 2 weeks and let it get it done. It's going to take them 3 months to do it. We may as,
Well, is it a motion to approve a contract? What would it be a motion
no,
for?
it's just,
It'll be something to the effect of resolve the Board of Education does hereby authorize the name of the company to prepare a request for proposal for these services as presented to the Board of Education at a October 22nd, 2012 public meeting.
Too bad you didn't write that down while you were
I
saying it.
know.
You're not gonna do it the same way you're looking at it.
Does someone want to make that motion? and we
I thought the
can
board
do
was
it?
writing it down.
so moved.
So moved, that's it?
So moved.
Okay. And we can figure it out later. So we need a second.
Second.
Why waste time? Let's do it.
Okay, comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Oh, great. That's very efficient. Thanks, Larry. That's great. So we'll
I did this once or twice.
okay.
Okay, we're not going to use the executive session, right?
So
So motion to adjourn the meeting. No, you have to make
I
a motion.
motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
We got a quorum for that one.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.